The mind itself is really the source of our suffering. It is the accumulation of our thoughts, of our patterns, of our ideas, of our history. The challenge happens when we have a thought or a stream of thoughts and we begin attaching ourselves and holding on and identifying with all the random 65,000 thoughts we have a day. We start holding on to these thoughts and they take us in a certain different direction. It's from that place that our mind begins to master us and we become slaves to our mind. It's time to shift this. And I want you to hear this. Just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean it's real. Just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean it's fact. The mind is so often trying to sell us a script, sell us the story, sell us an identity. It's trying to sell us something. You know, I often say the mind is like a crazy uncle, a crazy uncle that's a little mental. Imagine you had an uncle that had a little mental problem and you went to the hospital because you wanted to take your uncle for a walk, but the nurse says, you know, you can take your uncle for a walk, but just be aware that he sees things and not everything he sees is actually fact. And you go down the street and all of a sudden your uncle says, my God, they're coming for us. Oh my God, that kid over there, he's going to kill us. What would you say? Would you go and kill the kid? You wouldn't go and kill the kid. You would say, no, uncle, that's not totally true. It's all right. Because you have a relationship with your uncle in that moment. It's important that we cultivate a real clear and alert and aware relationship with our minds, so that we don't simply attach to every single thought that pops into our minds and start living our lives as though all of those random thoughts are actually real. So here's step one: observe your mind. If you're able to observe your thoughts and observe your mind, you'll begin to realize that there is something that is observing. And in the observation, you are not the mind. And in that moment, there is a little space. Because what you're observing, you're not identifying with. And from that place, there is space. And in that space, there's conscious awareness. And from that place, there is the possibility for freedom. What you are is not anything that is in the mind. But what you are is bigger than the mind. Dare to live beyond your mind by observing, staying alert, and questioning. Questioning the mind when it arises. Is it true? Can I know that for sure? And who are these thoughts actually happening to? Who are they happening to? In that moment, something will begin to happen that will create a space and a freedom where you'll begin to experience something beyond your mind.